A man was sentenced to life in prison for a crime he didn't commit. In 1983, a man named Clarence Elroy was sentenced to life in prison without parole. He always maintained his innocence, claiming that he had been set up, and after 27 years of fighting for his freedom, he was finally released. But that's not the crazy part. While he was in prison, he met a man named Paul, who was serving a life sentence for murder. Paul had a wife on the outside who would visit him every week, and she was the one who helped him escape. While visiting one day, Paul's wife slipped a small blade into his hand, and with that blade he cut through the bars of his cell window. But when it was time to escape, he hesitated. He didn't want to leave without his wife, but she encouraged him to go. She said that she would wait for him in their getaway car and that he could return if he wanted. But Paul decided to go free, and he did. He escaped through the window and ran as fast as he could until he got to the getaway car. His wife then drove him to a pre-arranged safe house where he stayed for several days before being picked up by another woman who smuggled him out of the state. Meanwhile, Clarence's cellmate, who was also scheduled for release that same day, was nowhere to be found. It turned out that he had bribed the prison guards to let him go early. Now, once Paul was out of prison, he tried to make a new life for himself, but he couldn't shake the feeling that he had done something wrong. He had put his own safety at risk and endangered the people who loved him just to escape. So he turned himself back into the authorities and was returned to prison. As for Clarence, he was finally free after 27 years, but he had nothing to go back to. His entire life had been destroyed. He had no money, no job, and no friends or family. He was essentially a nobody, but despite all of this, he was determined to make the best of his second chance at life. If you like this story, then make sure to stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching.